So we're gonna be trying this again. I'm actually trying to make Wendy's Mountain House for breakfast. So we already got the food right here. We got some fuel thrown in there already, and I got 12 ounces of water in this Tokes cook pot. We're gonna go ahead and boil this. Let me actually set this thing up here. Yep. Just cleaning up the lines in there, I guess. So we got this little full heat, no what do you call it? No, what did you call this thing? Simmer ring here. So just gonna bring this to a boil as quick as possible here. And this is just a container for the fuel. Trangia uses it, but I use this fuel. It's actually for cars. It's a methanol called Heat, H-E-E-T brand, which you could use to cook it. So this thing calls for 1.5 cups, which is 12 fluid ounces. And what's nice about this thing right here, this Tokes, when you read it from the inside, it'll actually read the different measurement amounts. So we're gonna bring that to a boil, and we're gonna open this and get this ready to go. I'm gonna go get a fork while this thing comes to a boil. One bubble at the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and open this spicy Southwest style Skillet Mountain House. I bought a couple of these just to try different flavors to see which ones. I bought one of a couple of them just to see if they're worth buying multiples of. So I like breakfast stuff, so I bought potatoes, shredded beef, black beans, green chilies, and vegetables freeze dried. That's what it looks like there's a good amount in there. So we're gonna put the boiling hot water in there and let it absorb into the food. Like about this container, this little vent right here allows the air to escape as you pour the fluid. It doesn't matter if you use this side or that side, it's both the same. It's just an exit, and you can't actually pour it if it's screwed down. You actually open it, all right, so then you can actually push down and that will actually open it. It makes it spill proof, and this container is good so you can actually put it in your bag and not it's very thick plastic. You know, you don't have to worry about this leaking in your bag. It's good for transporting. I actually bought all three sizes. This is the smallest size at 300. There's a 300, a 500, and I think a 800. So this is good if you're solo, and then the other ones when you got a bigger group or gonna be out for a longer period of time. So let's actually let's check on this thing. This thing is pretty hot already, just a touch, but there's a few more bubbles at the bottom there. This is a Tokes titanium, I believe. It is definitely hot. I feel that thing. Definitely burn my hand, just even at this length, height. Maybe center this a little bit better. Maximize that thing. So when you're boiling, Now, obviously, you want to come to a boil as quick as possible to use the least amount of fuel. So that's why we're not going to use a simmering. You would use this if you want to cook something a lower temp. This is the ashtray. You know, you would put this at the bottom, but don't really need it because we're not cooking with wood or anything that's going to cause ashes. Definitely. How this Trangia burner works, like I said in the other video, it's Swedish made. There's a tin, and on this tin there's like a little hollow space around the perimeter, and inside that hollow space is a wick, like a cotton wick. And you pour the fluid on the inside, that big ring, right? And the wick carries the fuel up to those little pinholes there at the mouth of it. And the wick never actually burns. It's really just the fuel. That's a really good burn though. So a thing with this, right, is the fluid in the container actually helps regulate the metal temperature, right? So if you have fluid in there, it keeps the temperature a little bit lower, but as you burn it, the temperature goes up higher for the metal, right? So you don't want to let this thing ever run out of fuel, because then the temperature gets too hot and then you can cause the welds in this can or the stove to crack, right? So you never let it, if you see it starting to go down in fluid amount, you put the fire out first. Obviously, don't add fuel while the fire's on, and put it out, add the fuel, and continue on. Now it sounds like it's boiling. Damn, that is hot. Yeah, it is boiling hot. So we're gonna go ahead and shut this fire off here. That is crazy hot. Very effective. They've been using this thing in Sweden for like, I don't know, 50 plus years already. So I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in to the food. I didn't catch that on the video, but let me go ahead and put this thing out. So you're not supposed to leave this oil up on there like I did. That way you can actually handle this without having to use a fork. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this out. Okay, fire's out. I got the water in here already. We're gonna give it a quick stir. Allow all the fluid to get moisturized, rehydrated, right? Good stir. Get that water everywhere, right? Okay, all angles. Now we're gonna seal this up. There's a Ziploc type bag here. Trap all that heat and let it rehydrate for 5 to 10 minutes or so. I use the exact amount that they asked for, which is 12 ounces. Sealed, right? Shake it around a little bit. And I'll put this right here. So yeah, if you didn't want to have to like use a fork on this, it already cooled down. This is titanium. It's not like iron will hold this heat that long, excuse me. You would actually have this out like this, right? So you could set things on top of it, and this handle will get hot, but it's further away, it won't be as hot, so you can actually manage it. But I had to push all the way in, which I'm not really supposed to do. And you can tell this is titanium because this is like a blue patina that's actually forming all around. It's kind of cool. Titanium turns blue. So yeah, that's it right there. And here's this Toaks titanium. Holds up to, with a stamp on side, 500 milliliters, right? So equivalent of one of these red fuel containers. And this thing kind of just, let me see if it's still hot. Right, already cool. And like I said, it's not like iron, it holds heat. You got cool already, and comes with this, and this kind of just drops down. And that's it. And this thing actually comes in this little carrying container here, which you don't really need, but if you want to keep the top from coming off, because the top just sits on it. That way you don't lose the cap, pot lid. So you definitely want to try these using your stoves and camping stuff while you have plenty of time and practice, so you can see how to do it properly when in the wild. I definitely got that blue hue where the fire made contact with it. Now this thing actually still has a lot of fluid in there. So I bought this from Firebox stove website, which is still pretty hot, right? And they offer the service right here. And see this weld right here, right there, that weld. So Trangia gives it to you. It's not airtight, but for extra $5, if you buy this stove from Firebox, they'll actually weld it for you before they send it to you. And that way it won't leak, or decreases the chances of it leaking if you had it, when you put this cap on, right? Like I said before, this O-ring right here, I'm not sure if this is cooled down. It should cool down pretty quick, but I'm gonna let it cool down all the way. And you can see there's still a decent amount. And what I meant by that wick is inside this portion right here, in a big ring, and it just picks up the fluid from the bottom and brings it up to the little pinholes around the edges here. So you would put this on, screw it, right? And then this would just sit on top of that, and this whole stove would be one compact thing like that. Pretty legit. From the reviews I read from other people, one guy told me he's had his from the 80s, this exact same stove. Only have had to change the O-ring out once. Other than that, everything else works fine. Never had to do any maintenance. And we'll get back later when this thing is fully cooked. This thing is still super hot in here, rehydrating. All right, we'll get back.